going to start by removing this push clip here, press in on the center, and then pop out the whole push clip. That's how you unlock it. Then over here on the door handle, the little cap that you can open, and there's a Phillips head screw right behind it. Remove that. There we go. And then to actually remove this door handle bezel here, you have to take a little screwdriver, a pry tool, stick it right in between the lock and the bezel itself, and pry up, basically up and over to release it, and then do the same thing on the bottom, but go down. And then remove this. Now I'm going to remove this master window switch. I'm going to use a little screwdriver to help me get my pry tool up in here, or underneath it I should say. I don't want to scratch or damage anything. Pry up on it, lift it up and out, and on the back side you'll notice an electrical connector. And press on the release tab, wiggle it, and remove that. Next, we're going to move on to the door handle pocket here. There we go. One side's coming up, perfect. Now that one side is up, the other side popped out. Basically, you're just fighting these two clips here. They're pretty strong. So set that aside. And right behind this, you'll find an anchor bolt for your door. So remove that with a Phillips head. Just make sure you don't lose it inside the door. I guess you could always get it after, but here it is. Now we can go around the door, double check that there isn't anything else, which there isn't on this particular vehicle. With the same plastic pry tool, I'm going to try and stick it right behind the door panel here. And hopefully I can pop out all the push clips that hold this door in. You can hear it's kind of coming out of place, which is perfect. There we go. Feels like there's another push clip right here. Yep, that was it. That's the last one. Before this door panel can come off completely, there's this corner piece here. This needs to get pried off. There we go. Remove that. And now you can just take the door panel, lift it, make sure it clears the handle. Don't pull it too far because you still have a wire here, which is for this light underneath. So press on the connector and just disconnect it. There we go. Now you can set this aside. To remove the door check, I'm going to have to access it somehow, and I think through the speaker hole is going to be the best way to do it. So let's unplug this, set that aside, and with a 10mm, remove the 3 screws that hold this on. 1, 2, 3. Now, the speaker is going to be a little bit stuck on there, just from the age of it, but remove it, set it aside, and let's bring the window up, because for me it's down. I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time getting to it. All that is holding this on is a 10mm bolt right here. Oh, so let's remove that. This has some thread locker on it, so it's going to be a little tight in there. And then there's 2 10mm bolts here, which I can get to with my wrench. At this point, keep in mind the door swings freely, so it can accidentally open too far, so just keep that in mind if you're on a hill in your driveway or something. But basically, let's remove these. Remove both of these. And now I'm reaching my hand through the speaker hole and pulling this right out. Here's your old door check. And again, the door is swinging freely, so make sure you have something to stop it. Take your new one, slide it in through the speaker hole, and line it up with where it's supposed to go on the door out here. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get through, but there we go. And I'm going to start these 2 bolts in first. That way it doesn't fall inside the door. There's one bolt, and the second one. There we go. Let's tighten these up first, and then we'll position it on the frame, kind of where it's supposed to go. Okay, make sure these are nice and snug. Now let's bolt it up to the A-pillar here. So take your bolt. If you want to install new thread locker, go ahead. Start it on the threads. Let's snug this one up. That's tight. Perfect. When you reinstall the speaker, it has this little hook here that needs to slide behind this panel. So start in with the top, bring the bottom in, and line up the 3 screws. Snug these up, but keep in mind they're going into plastic, so you don't have to make them very tight. And let's reconnect it. Grab your door panel, reconnect this light down there. Feed your wire through for the window switch to make sure it doesn't get stuck behind the door panel. Now take your door panel and you actually want to hook it up and over this lip here. You'll feel once it falls into place. There we go, right there. Make sure your wire's still good. And now snap in all the push clips that go around. Let's get this main anchor bolt for the door. Thread it on, snug it up. Let's get the window switch connected. And when you slide it in the back first, and then up at the top. Let's put in this door handle bezel. Make sure it hooks in at the front first. There we go. And press it onto the back side. Make sure it locks into both top and bottom locks. And then let's put in this screw that holds it on. Tighten it up. Close up this little door to hide it. Let's put in this triangle piece on the corner here. Make sure it snaps in and locks in place. Perfect. This push clip, to install it, you have to push the middle out, slide it in, press it flush, and there you go.